And welcome to Launchmetrics training videos. In today's video, we'll be going over the context mailing on Contact Manager. The context mailing is actually really great, especially when you're trying to send out any press release or any new announcements to any of your contacts. And today's we're going to be going over the new drag and drop method that we have available. So let's begin. Basically, we're going to go to your context mailing tab right over here. If you notice the search criteria, you can search for anything that you sent out based on the recipient names or companies, the subject line, notes. Also, you can filter by statuses. So let's say you're still currently working on a draft, you can filter it by just draft only, anything that you sent, or anything that you scheduled. Scheduled is actually a new feature that is available now. You're able to schedule any of your mailings to be sent out on a future later date. And I'll go over that into details later. So let's create a new mailing. You're simply going to create on the button right over here that says create new mailing. Again, if you belong to more than one department, just select the appropriate one that you're going to create your mailing for. And if you're going to notice, you're going to see 5 tabs here for the process for your events mailing. The first one is your setup tab. Basically, here is where you're going to fill in all of the information such as your subject line, your send from name is just basically the username of what you're logged in your Launchmetrics page. And then you have your send from email. So this is how the email that it's going to look like that it's coming from. Now, if you notice, I do have a green little checkbox right next to this email, letting you know that my domain has anti-spam detection in place. Let's say you type in your email, and then all of a sudden you get an exclamation point, and then you'll see a yellow box right over here. Basically, your domain, which is anything that ends after the @ is not validated for spam if you notice based on the error message. So what that means is that your mails are going to be sent out to everyone no matter what. However, there might be a possibility that it might end up in the individual spam folders. So in order for you to update your SPF records, simply click on this support center link. And then whoever is your IT contact will have to follow these instructions to update that. This, of course, is something that your team does have to do because, again, Launchmetrics doesn't have access to whoever creates your emails. So, again, your IT contact will have to set this up. The reply email is also just as important. The reason why the reply email is great is because once you send out your mailing, and let's say one of your contacts has any inquiries and they want to get more information, when they hit that reply back button, it'll be addressed to whatever email you have associated right over here. The notes is just for more of the internal notes when you're looking at your contacts mailings. So again, you can just say training email, and then you can also add in attachments that you want to add for this. Notice that the maximum amount that you can add in altogether for file-wise is just 5 megabytes. However, you could make it into a link on the design page where they can download it if the size is bigger than that. So once you type in all of your information, you're simply going to hit save. And then you're going to hit choose template. Now, if you notice that you can definitely start off with a blank template, or you have the option to use any of the templates that we also offer as well too. When you select one of these templates, it's not set in stone that you're not able to edit it. You can definitely edit the fonts. You can also edit where you want to add in your images. It's just more of a starting point if you're not sure what you want to start off with your contacts mailing. Another thing that's really important is to select what mode you're currently in. So whatever the green little circle is on, that's the mode that you're on. If you're interested in using the manual mode, I do want to point out that there is a video on our support page that goes into details in regards to how to use the manual mode. But for today, we're going over the drag and drop method. I also do want to point out you do have the ability to import from a previous mailing. So again, if you want to work off of another template that you sent out before, you can again look at a preview to see if that's the correct one, and then if it is, you can click on the button to import the template. So we're going to start off with the blank one. And then if you notice, you'll come across a blank canvas that you can work on. On the right-hand side, you're going to notice three tabs right over here. So the first one is the Content tab. The Content tab, of course, is important because this is where you're going to select what you want in the body of your email, such as the text, images, buttons, dividers, social media. You can also use this to put in any HTML code and also put in like the image of a video, which you can then link it to wherever you have it posted. Of course, you also have the rows. So this is pretty much like the layout of your context mailing, how you want it to be set up. So again, maybe you want 2 rows because you want it to have like an image and also some words. You can then drag it and drop it right over here. The settings tab right over here changes pretty much like the width of your mailing. So again, you can make it longer to make it look more like an email, or if you want to make it more like a newsletter, you can decrease it. Notice that you can also change like the background colors from here as well too. You can also change the default fonts as well as the hyperlinks colors as well. Now, because these are just the rows, notice that there's no contact right now at the moment. So this is where you have to go to the Content tab and then drag whatever you want it to be filled in for these spaces. So for now, I'll use the text, and notice how I'll drag it in here, and now I have a text block ready. When you're doing text, when you click on it, you're going to notice this black box here. So here you now have the ability where you can edit the fonts, change the size of the fonts, make it bold, use bulletin boards. You can also use links, special links, and also the merge tags. So again, for this one, let's start working on typing. Now, let's say you want to make it personalized and you want to use the custom database variables. In order for you to use those, you're simply going to click on the button that says Merge Tags. And then it'll give you all of the customized database variables that you have available that you can use. So for today, we'll just do the first name because we want to make it personal. And again, whenever you're clicking on one of the content tabs that you're currently working on, notice how the content properties will also change. So again, like if you're highlighting this, you can change the text color. So again, let's say you want to make it red, you can. The same thing with if you hyperlink anything, and you can also increase the line heights between the spaces of the sentences. Again, you can make it single, double, again, any of these spaces as well. Next up, let's say that you want to add in an image. Again, drag it over to the empty content. And you actually have 2 options available for you. You can either hit the browse key and then just browse and upload it, or if you have your image ready like I am, you can just drag it and just drop it, and then it'll get uploaded. Well, once it gets uploaded, again, you have your content properties that you can change. So again, right now it's just on auto width. You can unplug it, and then you can increase it as well. Okay? Again, you can also change the alignment. Other things that you can do is you can also hyperlink the images as well. So again, you can have it work and open a web page, send an email, make a call, or send an MS. Let's say you wanted to open up a web page. Again, you do have the ability right here where you can just type it in. So again, if I just type in launchmetrics.com, I can have it just copy and paste it into the URL. You also have special links as well, so you can also do where the image can go to like the read email online link, update profile, or the unsubscribe. Of course, let's say you also do a button. You can just drag it, and with the buttons itself, again, you can also edit it. So you can also say, again, let's say you had an image or a document that was bigger than 5 megabytes. You can hyperlink it here so they can download it. So then you can use So once you do that, you can just click on the button, and again, you have your content properties. What you can do is then link it to a file of whatever you have. So again, this is like when the browse, how it looks like when you're downloading. So again, we can just say maybe it's this one. You can insert it. One of the good things about the folder that I do want to mention out is that anything that you have uploaded into your contacts mailing, such as images, files, in your browse folder, all of it will be in here stored. So you can reuse them if you need to again. Again, you do have the ability where you can upload any as well. So for now, I'll just do insert. So now whenever they click on this button, it'll download that image itself. And of course with this, remember how, again, when you're clicking on the button, again, you can also change the color if at anything. So if you want to make it green, you can, or any of the other color spectrums. Again, with your content, you also have, for example, your divider. So let's say you want to divide it. When you click on it, again, you can make the line be solid, dotted, or dashed. You can also increase the width, as well as change the color. Of course, then you also have like your social media. This is actually a really great new feature that's become available. So again, when you drop it to wherever you want it to be, you click on it, you can then also configure the icons of what you want to use. So again, you can put in your Facebook URL for your specific page or your Twitter feed as well. Let's say, for example, you don't use Google Plus and you want to add in instead Instagram. You can delete it. You can then add in a new icon. And then again, you'll notice you have all of the ones for social following, for social share, or you can also use other icons as well. And again, with the URL, here's where you can update that based on whatever you want it to be directed to. Again, the HTML code as well is more for like your HTML code. Like if you have the coding instead, you can just put it in here and then it'll upload it as well for you. If there is something that you do want to remove or delete, for example, whenever you click on it, so again, let's say I'm over here, I can just hit this little trash to remove it, or I can also duplicate it if that's the case. One of the other things too, so like this, let's say I want to remove it, I can, and it'll ask you, are you sure? Now, of course, let's say you love your image. You want to make sure you save it. I also do want to point out that it does auto-save it whenever you move between tabs. So again, if I go to recipient, it'll just automatically save it. When it comes to your recipient tab, this is basically where you're going to add in who you're going to send out this email to. So one of the things that you can also do is, for example, change your email address settings. So again, this is more in regards to your permanent contacts that you have in your contact database. You can choose where it can be sent to if you select the email settings. So again, you can choose where it can send only to the primary, or maybe also to alternative or the assistant emails. You can also do it where it can just send an email to the first available address only as well. You also do have the option where, let's say maybe they're not in your contact database. You only just have emails and that's all you want to send it to. You can just do add email addresses and just copy and paste them wherever you have them, whether it's in Excel or in a Word document, and then just add them in here. However, let's say you're adding them from your contact database. Select add from contacts, and it takes you straight to the sample manager. So again, from here, you can filter it out based if you create a specific contact group or if you want to search by first and last name. It also gives you all of your contacts in here. So again, you do have the ability where you can add them in one by one, or you can just do add all found, so it'll add all the recipients in total, or by page based on your display that you have showing right over here. It's always important though that you do add in a recipient. The reason why is because then the preview and send will give you an actual preview of what's going on. So if you notice like this drop down, it's showing me how it looks like if I'm sending it to Enrique, compared if I'm sending it to Rosario. One of the good things about this new preview and send is that you can also view it, how it looks like when it gets sent and it gets opened up on either their computer, right over here on their tablet, or on their smartphone. And you can also send yourself a test email, so now you can open it up on your email to see how it looks like. And because you do have somebody here, this is a real live sample. So now, for example, if I click on that button that I made link to download the newsletter, notice how it gives me that, and then I can download it. Or like the image here, I did the Launchmetrics, and then it'll take me straight to the Launchmetrics page. So again, this again gives you the full preview of what you're doing before you send it out. Now, you do have the ability as well to send it right away, if that's what you want to do. Or one of the new features that's available is to be able to schedule it. So with schedule, let's say you've been working at this late at night and you don't want to send it right now. You want to send it first thing tomorrow morning. You can choose the date and the time. I do want to point out that this is under military hours. So again, make sure that you're selecting the right time. So if I do 9 and then hit the schedule button, this will send out this specific mailing with all the contacts that I added in at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. And once you do that, it'll be scheduled. If by any chance you do need to edit it, you do have the button right over here to edit the schedule to change the time if needed be. After you sent out your mailing and it's been sent out, I'm going to use another example of ones that have been sent. Search it. Once it has, you'll notice that you get these variables such as successful deliveries, unique opens, and the unique clicks. So for example, if I go over here to says view recipients, it then breaks down that report specifically for you. So successful deliveries is like how many recipients it got sent out to. The unique opens is basically out of these 22 recipients, 7 of those individuals actually open up the email. And then the unique clicks really is in regards to those hyperlinks that you did. So remember how in the email, I set it up where the image takes us to the Launchmetrics page, or we put up our Instagram or Facebook links. This is how many times they clicked on it. So if you click on this link tab, it actually tells you which one of those links they actually clicked and how many times. And again, with this tab, you can also filter your responses. So you can break it down by like failed delivery, sent successfully not read, or sent successfully and read. And if I hit search, it'll tell you like who actually read it and opened it. And their total clicks per individual if you're interested. And remember, you do have the ability to export this information into an email, Excel, or a PDF file. For more information in regards to contact mailing, please go to our support page at support.launchmetrics.com.